Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the style we'll be making today. If this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. So guys, I've traced out my bodice block. That's the back, and then that's the front. So I'm going to be starting with the front. So on the front part of the waist, I'm marking 4 inches, and then I'm opening it up to the back. I'm taking 3 inches on the side of the back, and then on the center back, I'm taking 9 inches. So that's what I'm marking. I figure that's as high as I want mine to be, so I'm going to be connecting the 3-inch point to the 9-inch point with a curved ruler. So just do that to yours. So I'm just writing out the measurement I used on there. I know you can see 8.5, but I changed it to 9, so I'm using 9 inches instead. So I'm taking 1/2 inches below the waist, and I'm connecting it with a smooth curve again, the waist point to the 1/2 inches under the waist point. That's why I said I took 9 inches up, to make up for the half that I took away at the bottom, so the bottom can have a curve and then the top has a curve. So I'm marking out, taking that measurement up to the front side of the front, the 3 inches I have on there. Now I'm going to be connecting that 3-inch point to the 4-inch point on the waist with a smooth curve. So that's going to be my opening at the front. So I'm just smoothing that out. I'm going to be taking 1/2 inches down the front waist, the center front waist, 1/2 inches down, and I'm connected to the waist point. So I'm just connecting that, and then I'm smoothing it off. So that's what I'm doing. So the next thing I want to do now is extend my hip measurement all the way to the full length of the dress. So I'm just marking that out, extending that all the way down. So I'm connecting all those lines. I'm going to be doing the same thing at the back. So I'm just making that more visible, my marker, so it looks more visible. So I'm going to be doing the same thing to the back, extending the hip measurement all the way to the end of the dress. So, and then I'm going to be connecting each of those points together, exactly like I did in the front. So right now, I'm just marking that out with the marker to make it way more visible. So I'm just marking that this is my back and that's my front. So now I'm going to be separating down the skirt parts of the dress from the top, so I can finish working on the top before I go back to the skirt. So that's what I'm doing here, just separating it, cutting it along my new waistline. So now I'm going to be starting with the front first. I'm going to be having a dart at that point and a side dart. So now on the edge of the armhole, I'm going to be increasing it by 1/2 inch. My original block has a 1/4 inch, and that's intentional, just in case I want to make sleeveless dresses. I will not have the excess under my arm, but because this dress has a sleeve, that's why I'm adding 1/2 inch. So that's what I did there, and I blended it, smoothing it onto the side dart. So now I'm just cutting that out. Please replicate this exact piece at the back, this exact thing I did at the back, because this outfit is going to be having a sleeve. But if I was making an outfit without a sleeve, I will leave my block exactly the way it is. But that's why I did that. So I'm going to replicate that same exact thing to the back, and then I've cut it all out. So now I'm measuring out the excess darts at this back, and I'm transferring it to the side. So I have a 1/4 inch. So I measured a 1/4 inch on the side, and I blended it onto the side. So now I'm just cutting that out. So I've taken away the excess dart that is there, so I won't be having any dart at the back. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting it out. So this is my top back piece. I'm going to be keeping that aside. I'm just marking that out, my back. I'm going to be keeping that aside. So now I'm going back to the skirt part. I'm measuring my full length. As you can see, the paper is not enough, so I'm going to be attaching extra paper onto the end to get the full length of the dress. So that's what I'm just doing here, attaching extra paper. So guys, do yours like that, attach extra paper. Now I'm going to be marking out my full length. So I know that my waist measurement is 15, so that's why I'm placing it at that 15, and then I'm rolling it all the way down. So I'm marking it to the length of the dress. So however long you want yours to be, that's the point you will mark yours to. So I'm just going to do that all the way down, and then I'll connect it all. with a straight line. And then I'll extend my hips to meet that point. So I'm extending my hip measurement all the way to the bottom. So that's what I'm just doing here. That's what you're seeing me doing, extending the hip to the bottom of the dress. So now I'm just taking 4 inches on the side, and I'm going to be connecting this. I'm just separating that so I can have enough space to work with. I'm moving out the bottom. I don't need that excess anymore. So I'm going to be connecting that 4-inch point to the waist. It may be possible for some people, it may not be possible for some. So if it's not possible, please connect yours to your hip. But if yours can touch the waist, then it will become better if you connect it to the waist. But if not, connect it to the hip points. That's also okay. So I'm just connecting it all the way to the waist. I'm marking 1 inch at that bottom. Can you see what I'm doing? Then I'll use a smooth curve to connect it to the beginning of our previous hip line, our previous hip measurement that I wrote down. So I'm just using my marker to show you the line so it will be clear. This is my new side waistline, side of the skirt. So I'm duplicating the exact same thing at the front. So I noticed at the back my lines was able to touch my waist, but at the back it wasn't able to. So that's what I was talking about. I'm just connecting it to the hip because that's also okay. So that's what I'm doing, just trying to create the A-line effect and by connecting that point to the point of my hip. So now I'm just trying to show you a mini visual of what I was trying to explain there, because I noticed the camera couldn't show everything. So I'm just trying to draw out a skirt block, like the long part of the skirt. So what I did was extend the line at the bottom. I took 4 inches at the end, and then I connected that to the hip. Do you see what I did there? So that's what I did in the whole long thing that my camera couldn't show. I took 1 inch at the bottom and I smoothed that onto the bottom of the skirt. So this is what I did at the front and at the back. So this is exactly what I was trying to show in the whole long thing that wasn't showing, that the camera couldn't capture. So this is exactly what I did. So this is just a mini representation of what I was talking about there. So this is exactly what. So I'm just marking out where my side slits will be. That's what I did. Starting with our sleeve block, I'm marking the center top of the block and the center bottom of the block. Just marking that out. So I'm going to be holding that center top in place, and I will extend, just take my block to the side as wide as your paper is, or as wide as you want your sleeve to be. So I'm just tracing that out all the way to the top. I'm sorry that was out of frame. I'm still holding that top in place, and I'll open it all the way to the other side to get the other side. Then I'll trace it out both with the curve and all to create one whole sleeve block. And that's just what I'm doing. So you can see I'm connecting it. So just do yours like this. If you want your sleeve wider than this, then you get a wider paper. So now I'm just going to be connecting that end to the middle end line. Do you see what? To that middle, and then all the way to the other end. And my sleeve block is ready. So that's just what I did there, just smoothing everything out. I'm just marking that out with a marker so it's more visible. I'm marking out my back. B stands for the back and F for the front. So naturally what I would have done is split my block in the middle and open it out, but I don't want to do that because this is the block I use for all my designs, so I don't want to ruin it. So that's why I did that. This is also a convenient way to do that. So I'm just cutting everything out, just folding and marking out my middle points. So that's my middle. You can see that's one whole sleeve block that is ready. So I'm just showing you all my pieces. That's my back, that's my front, that's my side, and that's my sleeve block. So I'm just writing sleeve on it so you know what it is. Please guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.